Hi, this is Julie Murphy with Arizona Farm Bureau. It's Friday. It's almost 10 o'clock. We're about 30 minutes away from it, but these lovely ladies said, yeah, let's go for it. Let's go early. So as many of you that pay attention to our Talk to a Farmer, Talk to a Friday, Talk to Extension Specialists, we're doing a whole new series. We started last week with Maricopa County Extension. We're going to traverse the state and try to connect with every one of the extension offices, the University of Arizona Cooperative Extension System. And this week it's Pinal County. I'm in my hood. This is where I grew up.
That's right. Represent.
And I love this place. And we're in the multi-purpose room. And as you can see, this beautiful mural behind us is, pretty representative of agriculture and the history of it. And, there's a timeline here that if you start from the left and you go to the right, if you're facing it, you'll see, all the way back, I want to say maybe 1,000 years when the Hohokam were using irrigation. So this mural kind of represents that. Anyway, happy to be here. We're trying to, with this series, help you and I discover extension, almost rediscover it.
Yes.
And so while there's three of us, I'm going to, center stage is really these two women, and I'm going to introduce first to you Esther, and what's your last name again?
Turner. I'm Esther Turner. I am the 4-H agent for Pinal County.
Okay.
So look at you.
Yes. Yeah. Which is okay. And then Cinda, give me your full name and title.
Okay. My name is Cinda Willits, and I am the Community Outreach Coordinator for Pinal County Extension, and I mostly do ag literacy.
Oh, awesome.
Outreach, yeah.
Okay, well, to both of you, welcome, and I'll try to be going back and forth,
Okay.
And hopefully I do this mic thing right. But so the first question I have, and Esther, I'll start with you. What are the primary educational objectives? Well, let me back up. So one of the other things that we're going to try to do as we go to each extension office, we're going to try to feature kind of their sweet spot or their core competency or something that's pretty cool in their programming that they do. So for Pinal County, and that's not all you do, let me stress that part.
That's right.
Ag Ventures is kind of your sweet spot. So my question to you then, to both of you actually is, with this primary educational objective of Ag Ventures, the farm tours here at the Maricopa Agricultural Center, we're in Maricopa in Pinal County, and we're basically due east of downtown Maricopa, is how to describe where we're at. And how do you measure its impact on the approximately 3,000 you average, sometimes more, maybe around that? How do you measure the impact of these 3,000 students that experience your ag venture over the course of a year?
Well,
I don't need to do it.
You don't. I've got my own fluffy ball. Ag Ventures is a 4-H program that we offer here in Pinal County, and it is an educational program for primarily kindergarten through 6th grade, where they come here to the farm and they do tractor rides and learn about nutrition. They learn about where their food comes from, soil. They learn about water, conservation, where that comes from as well, and some classroom activities. There's a lot of fun things, and I'll let Cinda talk about those because she does them. Moving to the impact, we do informal surveys with the kids while they're here.
Oh, cool.
As far as what are you learning, what's your favorite part, what do you like to do here. But after the schools leave, we do a follow-up survey with the teachers and students. We send packets to them with follow-up activities for them to do in the classroom to review the field trip. What did we learn and how can we implement that in our daily lessons and whatnot. And again, that's a survey that's given to the teachers, and we also give one to the students. So, and I'm going to reach over here for a second. One of the classrooms that Cinda did create this little notebook telling us about their trip, what they liked. And so we know that there's an impact being made, and Cinda will talk a little bit more about that too as question 1, part B. But the impact is there. When we see these kids in the supermarkets and they know you as the farm lady or whatever, we know that they're listening to what we have to say, and we know that they're walking away with a new understanding of agriculture, farming, and most importantly at this age, where their food comes from.
Right.
So
when Mom would help with the Cotton Women Committee doing the agri-literacy, and she would read a cotton book when same things when kids would run into her in the grocery store. There's the cotton lady.
yes.
So give us the lowdown. How many years then has Ag Ventures been going on, and then is it all located here at Big Mac, as I still call it, or the Maricopa Agricultural Center?
Yes, but we also call it Mac. So, it's been here about a little over 25, somewhere between 25, 30 years. It started actually in this room. Is where it started. But now we have 3, I believe they were recruitment trailers that are out. We call that our Ag Venture. They're outside. And we have classrooms inside of those, as well as a lot of opportunities to do class and teaching outside, which is my favorite place to be, is outside. So that's how long we've been doing it. I've been working with the program for about 20 years. And I absolutely love it. We do a lot of great hands-on activities for the kids. When the students arrive at the Ag Village, they'll divide off into groups, and then we will rotate through different stations. They're about 20 minutes long, but every one of them has a piece where they're just getting in there and doing it, right? So we might have Gardens in a Cup, where they're going to plant. They're going to learn about the soil, and they need seeds and water and air and sun. That's one activity. We do an activity with water conservation, where we talk to them about the importance of water, and especially here in Arizona. And then we're going to do a water relay with them. 2 20-gallon containers where they're going to move water, but they have to move it so they're not wasting it.
I was going to say, because that could be a big mess.
Oh, and it is. Oh, it is. And when it's a hot day, it is fun. And honestly, sometimes to watch how they do the water backwards a little bit is also part of the experience, right?
Yeah.
So we also will do seed dissection, just soak some seeds and let them open them up and look at inside.
Perfect.
And then at lunch, they still have the opportunity to do hands-on, because we have farm equipment that they can look at. We have a cow. Her name is Macy. She's fiberglass, so she doesn't require a whole lot, but they can milk. So after they've eaten lunch, they have the opportunity to, on their own, explore. So they can milk a cow. They can look at the farm equipment that we have. And their most favorite thing that they do is they pump water. So we have hand pumps, about 6 hand pumps set up. They get to prime the pumps, and they just pump water. And it's like the best thing ever. They love to get in there and pump the water.
So is this throughout the year, or is there a where you're trying to gather these 3,000 students over a short period of time, or is that aggregated over the year? I mean, how does that kind of work?
So it's over the school year. With 2 kind of main emphasis. We've got the fall program, which we're getting ready to. I love the fall program because we have corn planted. So we're going to have a corn maze. So that's another one of those hands-on activities. I mean, they get out there. We're going to look at the brace roots, and we're going to look at the tassels, and we're going to talk about pollination. So we have our fall programming, and then we'll have spring programming. And then in the spring, we'll take them out to the fields, weather permitting, and they're going to pick radishes.
Oh, cool.
And it's the best experience to see those kids just pull that radish up out of the ground, and their eyes light up, and the ladybugs, and they'll have a bag, and they'll just fill the bag with radishes.
Also pulling from mostly Maricopa School District here in the town of Maricopa, and or where are the kids coming from, I guess?
We're getting kids from all over. We're getting some from the Maricopa School District. I've got some Coolidge School coming in a couple weeks. Florence. We also get Kyrene School District, as well as the Chandler and the Gilbert School District.
And they're coming in the bus loads.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're big groups, or do you have size limits?
Yeah, we try to cut it off at about 100. So oftentimes schools will come over several days. We only work with one school at a time. So
Sure.
if they can't get here, we typically start at 9:30. But if they can't get here till 10, they get here at 10, and we just pack everything in we can.
I would imagine you have teachers that have called upon you every year and said, okay, I'm bringing my new set of students out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's like the ultimate compliment, right?
Yeah.
They come back every year
That's
because
neat.
they love the program. And if they move to a different school, they bring the different school with them.
Right.
Yeah.
We also have started a homeschool day where
Oh,
we actually
cool.
had two, where it was designed for homeschoolers to come and bring their families. And so we've tried to meet that need as well. One of the things that Cinda did not mention about the cornfield was that we also bring in the animal life, because we had a little herd of javelinas that nested in there last year. So as kids came, they got to, the javelinas were not there at the time, but they got to see the nesting and how they would plow up the corn and whatnot. Also out in the Adventures area, which she was talking, two things that we're working on and hope to have finished soon is our bee barn, where there is bee education, photos, and there's actually a hive that we can put live bees in. And then our maze, we want to continue building our 5C Arizona Sea maze, to where we're celebrating the 5 Cs of Arizona.
Way cool.
Yeah.
And I think you guys have answered my second question. How does the farm tour integrate hands-on activities to teach K through 6? But like, is there, obviously the bee barn is kind of new development of hands-on and hands experience. And then because you've gotten feedback from the teachers and the students regarding the experience, because you survey them, what do they often say? I'm sure they're saying they got a lot out of it, but what's a common phrase or a common thing that you've noticed that especially the teachers keep saying?
Well, Cinda has a really great example of that.
Okay.
If you want to take.
Well, a lot of them do comment about the hands-on activities.
Okay.
We just last year implemented or trying to roll out the seed dissection lesson. And so I was doing that with a class, and the teacher took me aside and she said, I can't thank you enough, because this saved me so much time in the classroom, what was presented today.
Wow.
So that's, fantastic feedback to hear that, we're trying to add value. They're coming here to visit us, but we're all tight, right? The budgets are tight everywhere. So if we can provide something that is fun for the kids and they're learning, and then on top of that, we're trying to meet Arizona state standards, science standards. So we're offering something that we feel like is like the perfect package, right?
Yeah. And so much of what I'm hearing you talk about is what Katie Akins and her team at the Arizona Farm Bureau with the Ag Education program does as well. I mean, when they go into the schools, when they're scheduled, whether it's the fall season and they're usually going to feature apples, it's a whole kit. And so that's how we've been able to accommodate. We actually are the ones that kind of go into the classroom, but you guys have this setting at the Maricopa Agricultural Center where, okay, this is a farm. There's a lot of experimental. I have to give a little Murphy caveat. My dad was the demonstration manager in the 80s and I think into the 90s, about 13 years for Big Mac. So I have a family connection to this place, and a sentimental value will always be there for me. But just thinking of these programs and the fact that you've got this place and you guys have made a commitment to kind of maximizing on the opportunities and the resources that come from this University of Arizona experimental farm, basically.
And there are some schools that cannot afford to come to a field trip or don't have the resources to bring the kids. So Cinda will go into the school.
So you do the same thing.
And she does it. It's typically for the older ages, the 4th, 5th, 6th graders.
Yeah.
But she does take different sessions in there, and they're hour-long classes. But she can spend an entire day at the school going from classroom to classroom.
And you guys are mainly focusing on K through 6, right?
Here at the farm.
Here at the farm.
Okay.
Yeah. Although I'm excited that we're going to get a couple of junior high. Hopefully, I have some junior high students on our schedule. So I'm really looking forward to getting into a little bit different kind of science with them. We're going to try to open up some corn stalks and look inside and look at the anatomy. And so that's going to be a good experience. And we've also, on the other end of the spectrum, we have added some pre-K kiddos. I actually have a group coming next week of pre-K. Yeah.
One other fun little caveat that I want to share with our listeners and to those that watch this video later. Again, this is Julie Murphy with Arizona Farm Bureau, featuring this time Pinal County Extension, Cooperative Extension, as we do this Discover Extension series. But one other little caveat, Cinda, that you were telling me is that you ran into the team at Farm Bureau at the
Ag in the Classroom, National Ag in the Classroom Conference.
That's right, the National Ag in the Classroom. So it's kind of like this small little circle of ag educators, and yet when you all meet together on the national level, that's pretty impressive.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you see the dedication throughout the country of different teachers teaching ag, it's impressive.
That's pretty neat. So if there is a connection, in what ways does the Maricopa Agricultural Center Farm Tour connect with our Pinal County Extension programs, such as 4-H Youth Development or Master Gardener Initiative? You kind of, Esther, hinted to that before we started the show.
Yes, we are, we are a 4-H program, and so we're very connected to 4-H.
So the Ag Ventures is a 4-H program.
It is our ag literacy program, yes. And we do connect with other aspects of 4-H as well. We have our STEM makerspace located here out in Ag Village, where there's a 3D printer and a laser cutter and things, cricket makers, so the kids can come and explore some STEM activities that they may not have the opportunity to do at home. They don't have that equipment at home and whatnot. We do hold our 4-H summer day camps here at this location. And we did magnetism this year. We've done Farmer for a Day. We've done all sorts of different programs celebrating across 4-H, sewing, cooking, nutrition, trying to almost be a taste of 4-H. And this is a perfect meeting location because we have a kitchen available to us. We have a farm available to us. We have all these resources at our fingertips. So this is the ideal location for those. So 4-H is a no-brainer as far as the connection. With Master Gardening, our horticulture agent left about 2 months ago and went to Texas. So we've just recently brought on a coordinator who will be taking that on, and he's going to reignite the Junior Master Gardener program.
Oh, cool.
And that's a 4-H program as well. We've worked with the Master Gardeners in 4-H. We've helped with their plant sales, moving things for them and things like that, with our AmeriCorps members who represent the 4-H program. So FNET we bring in and help teach nutrition programs and whatnot. One of the programs we do is the Next Steps for Leadership, where one whole week is dedicated to nutrition and food insecurities. And so FNET will come in and talk about that. So SNAP, while they'll no longer be with us for a while, they would come in and do physical activities for us. So Cooperative Extension is a family, and we pull from whatever family member we need to get the job done.
Oh, awesome. Well, and I know, because with all the programming and stuff, I think it can be a bit overwhelming. At the Maricopa County interview that I did with Iman, I had mentioned that I had shown up when I was in high school to the 4-H dance, and Maricopa Extension was hosting it. And he goes, and it must have been one of those Monday nights, I guess. As you can tell, I'm quite a bit older, so I don't remember. But he goes, oh, yeah, we host them I think, did he say Monday nights, Joel?
The cloggers. Yeah.
The cloggers every Monday night. Well, ours was a little bit different. They actually made it a dance contest. But what struck me is that, oh my gosh, who's the staffer that has to stay there later in the day? Because I'm sure that since it's an event for youth after school, it's probably got to be 4 or 5 or 6 o'clock. So that's, just extended resources in extension are obvious for a play on words on there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, our 4-H does go well into the evening hours.
Right.
We have our shooting sports, which have the storage out here as well. And in fact, we just had a meeting last night. So We are
Mhm.
we work evening hours.
Yeah.
4-H is run by volunteers. They are the heart of our program, and volunteers work a full day, and so they aren't available until the evening hours sometimes, and weekends, and so our schedules are very overlapped with that.
Sounds like Farm Bureau. We
Yes,
couldn't do what we do without our volunteers.
absolutely.
And the volunteers drive it. They drive our policy, they drive our programming, they are the ones. So I'm going to ask this question of both of you. What's most rewarding for your work for you when working for Extension? Um, you can talk about it not just in terms of ag ventures, but just in general.
Oh, for me, and I think for Cinda, we talked a little bit about this. It's very similar. It's the kids that we get to work with, the adults that we get to work with. Um, the history of Cooperative Extension is we are the outreach arm of the university. And it used to be that trains would pull up, you'd open the car door and do an educational program from there on the train platform.
Wow.
A bus would drive up, set up a table and teach farmers, teach housewives how to can preserves, things like that. It's always been, Cooperative Extension has always been taking education and research to the people where they are, meet them where they are. And for many people in our community, the only time when they hear of University of Arizona, we're the only exposure they've had to the University of Arizona. So we carry the responsibility of that Block A on our shoulders, and we take it very seriously. So that's very exciting to me, being able to bring that information to people. Now, we're not coming in on trains anymore. We're not coming in on buses anymore. We're driving Priuses. But it's exciting to be able to be that conduit, to be able to be that connection for people. It's exciting to see kids learning. It's exciting to be bringing new things. We're starting a ham radio club. And when we introduced that to some of our kids, it was kind of, I've always wanted to do that. How exciting, that makes my blood pump.
As a kid, I would think it'd be cool to learn to do that.
Absolutely. You're going to let me shoot an arrow with this bow? Well, after education, yes, that's what we do. So providing those opportunities is what's exciting for me. It gets my blood pumping. It makes me excited. It's that spark, in 4-H. And when we talk about the Thrive model, the developmental context of 4-H is based upon the spark of the child, the spark of the volunteer. What excites you? What is exciting about this? About the relationships that can be built, about the engagement, not participation, but the engagement that the kids will feel, and that safe feeling that they belong. We want to make sure all of that is happening. And so when that all comes together and we can be the soil for the growth of the rest of what 4-H does, that's exciting to me.
That is neat. Now, how long have you been working for Extension?
I've worked for Extension for 17 years.
Okay.
I worked for 4-H for 2.
Okay. And how about you?
I've been here at MAC for a little over 20 years.
Okay. So, and I want to ask you the same question. What's most rewarding to you, and it doesn't have to be specific to ag ventures, just in general?
Okay, so I'm very ag venture centric because it's so much of what I do. But as Esther had mentioned, like we hosted the day camps here, and it's all the same, and it's very similar to what Esther was saying. Is I just love to see when that light bulb goes off, and yeah, maybe okay, that circuit didn't work. Let's try something else,
Right.
And let's just be persistent with it and be positive, and just to see the kids, learn and build their confidence, and maybe electricity is not your thing, but guess what? They just made a friend who's helping them, and in the relationships that they're building together. So that's, for me, that's so rewarding. Plus, a hug once in a while from a kid isn't too bad
it's
either.
Not bad.
Yeah.
And because ag is so hands-on, and then you're in ag education, and test results say the more hands-on whatever learning experience a child is going through means their retention for their test scores is going to be better too. I keep hearing that a lot, especially from our ag education team.
Absolutely. And the more opportunity we provide, the more growth there's going to be. We want our kids to walk away with a love for lifelong learning. We want them to walk away to be able to be ready for life, obtain those life skills and those work skills, and be beyond ready.
That's awesome. And I can vouch for that because I think I mean, the longest period of programming within 4-H that I was in was the swine program. My 4-H leader was Tom Miller
Oh,
out here in Maricopa. I think their family lived in Casa Grande. Sewing,
mhm.
so many other things that I think gave me life skills that I make application today. And we had cooking classes and,
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Goal setting, financial
yeah,
responsibilities, teamwork, you
yep,
know, leadership skills and
right.
whatnot. And whether you're baking a cake or whether you're raising a hog, whether you're, you know, here at Ag Ventures, you're getting all of those things wrapped up in a little box. And
Hmm.
whether or not that's where you got it, this is where it started.
Well, and to that point, I used to hate it at the time, but my parents would make sure I sat down and did it. The 4-H records that we'd have to, in order for us to qualify for something, we always had,
Yes.
and I learned all my budgeting from that. If we hadn't done what we did, and then it just builds skill sets that some of them are subtle, some of them are in the background, but they're there because we had those experiences.
One of the other ones that I find so interesting is the communication
Communication.
day, and just the participants getting up in front of an audience and
Oh, yeah.
having to
Public
talk.
speaking.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's such a great experience.
That's so neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So other program areas, we talked about 4-H,
Mhm.
and that the Ag Ventures is part of the 4-H.
Mhm.
The diabetes and prevention program, that's become statewide
That
now.
has become a state program.
Okay.
It operates out of campus down in Tucson, but they do have one of the facilitators here in Casa Grande.
Oh, okay. And then expanded food and nutrition education programming, is that with all of the extension offices?
That
or?
is with all extension offices. That is the FNET program. And they go into different areas. They go into women's shelters. They go to libraries.
Oh, wow.
They do in-school programming, work with the Boys and Girls Club. They work with the veterans. They have a garden out at the Veterans Center. They go into places, and again, we bring education and research to our community wherever they may be. And so we do a lot of outreach. And so this weekend they'll be out at the fiestas in Eloy, and we'll have a table set up for 3 days out there.
Wow.
Again, bringing information to them, trying to get people to sign up for classes and stuff. Esmeralda Castillo is the FNEP coordinator, and she does an amazing job.
Okay. What is obviously I know what it means, financial literacy, but structurally, how do you carry that program out?
Financial literacy is something that we've been working with the United Way on. Unfortunately, that grant ends the end of October.
Okay.
But we do have a program in place. It's similar to Arizona Saves. A lot of the worksheets and curriculum that they use is what we use. But the university still does offer it in counties that they have received funding. We're in a hold pattern right now in Pinal County, but it's been a good program, and it was offered to youth and adults.
I was going to ask, what's the age range?
They
The
have two
earlier you start teaching people how to budget, and the better.
Absolutely. We actually partnered with them to offer it to some 4-H members before they did their record books, so that they would understand, when you're doing your income and your costs, that sewing machine, there is a cost to it.
Right.
You may not have paid it, but it has a value. So trying to teach them that is one of the assets and things like that.
Is that across the board, financial literacy, or is that something that you guys specialize here in Pinal County?
It's across the state.
Okay. And then how about First Smiles? Is that statewide, or is that?
First Smiles is in Pinal County. That is a grant through First Things First, and it offers dental screenings and fluoride application to youth kindergarten through the age of 5.
Oh, wow.
And so that and our DSS program, the Developmental and Sensory Screening Program, that also is First Things First grant. Again, they're limited by the age. They kindergarten through 5th grade, but they go in and do vision, hearing, and developmental screenings to try to make sure that kids are prepared for kindergarten. We don't want any child to fall behind because they can't see something clearly, they aren't hearing properly, or there's some kind of delay, that we can get in that window and as quickly as we can get services for them. And so those screenings are extremely important for our youth. And That's across Pinal County. Again, that's a county grant provided through First Things First.
That's a neat program.
It's an awesome. I worked with that one for several years, so
Cool.
love that.
Pinal County Development and Sensory Screening. That's the
That
same
is that,
thing.
yes.
Master gardeners. That's across the board. Almost every extension you'll go to, and we get that question a lot. We'll get a call to the Farm Bureau office saying, I want to do this, or I want to grow this, or assuming that we're a Master Gardener program. And so I always ask first, where do you live?
Exactly.
And then I connect them to that county's extension, because nearly every one of you has the Master Gardener program.
Yes.
Okay.
And like you said, where do you live? Because my son took Master Gardening here in Pinal County and then moved up to Flagstaff. Growing is different in Flagstaff.
Oh,
So
sure.
he had to connect with them and, look at the different growing cycles there and the different seasons there.
So cool. What about rangeland monitoring and Smartscape? Is that mostly for our counties that are more out there, like Flagstaff, where our ranchers are? And
our rangeland management is more of a regional.
okay.
And so our region, Ashley Wright is the one who's in charge of that, and she's up in Gila County. She does Gila and Pinal County, though. And they definitely do work. That's actually where my daughter found her love for rangeland management, and she's down in Colorado doing it. So it's something that's offered here. The connection is up at the Gila office, though.
Okay.
As far as
I know Ashley.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Yes.
Smartscape is one of those that is on hold right now because our horticulture agent left, but it's something that's in our future to start up again.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So any points to all of these programs, and some of these reflected commonalities if they're statewide, but any special points to share on any of these other programs, especially here in Pinal County?
The early childhood screening programs, because that's a grant that comes from that county or that region. Not every county offers those. So those are unique to our office.
Okay.
We are looking at other programs as well. We used to have the Strengthening Families program, which is a parent education program. Again, that was grant funded. And so we're looking for another grant so we can reignite that. It was a great parent education program where families came together. There was a class for the youth, there was a class for the adults, and then at the end of their sessions, we brought them all together as a family and did exercises. So it was a really unique program. We did it for about 11 years before the funding dried up on that, and so we're looking to start that again. There was also positive discipline parenting that we had. We lost that grant recently. So again, it's trying to find the funding to bring those back, because parenting is definitely something that is needed.
Right.
Not saying we have bad parents, I'm just saying we all need help.
And there's some challenges, and sometimes some families don't have the same resources that other families, and so we've got to make a way for them to find those resources.
Exactly.
One of the vibes I'm getting from this, besides general funding that has somewhat been cut back, and there's concerns that there will be more cuts in the legislature in the future, that you have to spend a lot of time looking for other ways to get monies through grants.
Yeah. Or you reinvent what you're doing. Our programming will never stop because we have people that have the desire and passion to help. That's why we're in this, is to help people, and because we love what we do. We love seeing the kids grow. We love seeing them learn, and we will reinvent how we do things so that programming doesn't stop. It just may look different.
Okay. That makes sense. And that reinvention of something that may have lost a monetary resource, is some of that because of a volunteer that says, hey, I'll take it on?
It is.
Okay.
We are, like I said, we are volunteer led, and our community partners, we partner with our libraries, we partner with our schools, we partner with our VFWs who provide us space and resources. We partner with the National Guard. So we want to make sure that we're a community. Again, people standing alone as silos is ridiculous when we have all of these resources available to us that we can weave together into a beautiful tapestry and make this strong fabric that is our community, rather than, they do that and we do this.
Oh, I love that.
So
Esther, that's inspirational. Thank you for sharing that. So I have one last question for both of you. Any special takeaways you'd like listeners to come away with? We have, like I told you, sometimes we'll have as many as maybe a couple dozen, 20 to 25 people come onto the live, but most of our listeners view this later because we save it to Instagram. And then Joel and all his technical expertise will help me get it uploaded to, he hands me the MP, whatever the file is, and I'll upload it to YouTube, and then he takes it and he gets it on our Arizona Farm Bureau channel. Thank you for all you do, Joel.
thank you. You're taking 20 pounds off, you said.
We're both busy in my department. So, having said that, a lot of viewers will view it later, and some of these families in your more geographic community might be coming from Pinal County. So take this as your platform to share what you want to share, Esther, and then Cindy, I'll ask you the same question.
My takeaway would be is that cooperative extension is the best kept secret in Pinal County. Yeah. People don't know what all we do and what all we can offer. We are the hidden gem, if you will. And we encourage people to reach out, give us a call and talk to us and see how you can get involved. We have openings in our extension board right now that we would love to fill with people that are like-minded. You know, we want to make sure that we are bringing the best of the best to the table to bring cooperative extension up to where it needs to be, rekindle that passion, that desire within everybody. You know, so that would be mine, is that we just really are the best kept secret.
That's neat. Well, it's not neat that it's a secret, but we're working on it.
I appreciate that.
We're working on it.
And we're fun people to work with.
Oh,
Yeah, of course.
We can be
tell
fun.
this.
Yeah. So I'm going to piggyback on that and say, you know, if there's any retired educators out there or someone who just wants to get out of the home, contact us. We would love to have volunteers help us when we have field trips. The one motto that we have, and we have signs all around the Ag Venture, is if you eat, you're involved in agriculture. So that would be the message that I would like to just put out there in the minds of everyone, that yeah, you're eating, so you are involved in the agriculture process.
So true. And I saw one of those signs up above the entryway to the multi-purpose room.
Yes.
So I really appreciate this, Esther and Cinda, and I learned a lot, and it was fun to come back. And you guys keep doing you and keep making a difference in the lives of the people that you work with.
Thank you.
Yes.
And we invite you to come back for a field trip one day.
You know, I might have to do that just so I get to be hands-on as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Welcome home.
Welcome. I know. I feel home. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, to everyone that has been viewing this and will see this later, blessings to you. The next 2 weeks, we're not having our Talk to a Farmer, Talk to a Rancher, because we have a Friday board meeting. And then the following week, I'm on vacation. But we start up again. And I believe the next one is in Pima County, so that we could feature Pima County Extension. All right, everyone. Again, blessings to you. Enjoy your weekend.